Everybody, it's Craig from Edible Leeds and the 4 Wild Seasons. Continue with the wild food diaries and the little videos that I've been making. So those who've been watching my little videos online will have noticed that I hinted at a process called lacto-fermentation the other day. So today I'm going to show you how to do some lacto-fermenting. It's really simple. There are 2 key ingredients that you require. First of all is fresh greens. So I'm going to use some wild greens. I'm just going to show you 3 of the greens that I really love to work with, in particular when I'm doing lacto-fermentation. One is these young Jack by the hedge stalks, especially the little flowering tops. Got a huge patch of this, not too far away. So again, mindful harvesting, you don't need to go taking every one. We want some of these to set seed and then they can seed for next year and you can go back and harvest. Another green I really love, it's really robust, makes an excellent ferment. It's just an all-round versatile super plant really. Ramsons or wild garlic, yeah, out in force in woodlands and around riverbanks and becks at this moment in time. And Flowered Leek. Now these are just some of the longer, more mature flower stalks that I picked the other day, and I want to use these flowers actually for something different. I've actually got a load of pre-prepared, washed Flowered Leek that I'm actually going to ferment. But for those of you who are watching this and maybe not so aware of the wild, worry not. You can use items such as cabbages, yeah, green or red cabbages. You can use items such as, I'm just going to really quickly show you. So this is a beetroot, wild garlic, seaweed and chipotle ferment. It's a pretty funky purple colour, tastes beautiful. And this is a red cabbage ferment that I've got. Again, it's got some Ramsons in there. Again, they're just kind of powerhouses of flavour and nutrition really. Yeah, so back to this. So there are 2 key ingredients: fresh greens and the magic ingredient, salt. Yeah, I'm going to be using some sea salt crystals. You don't want to be using table salt. Table salt can contain anti-caking agents and added iodine. You just don't need to use that. Likewise with the rock salt, it's a little bit tough, but I prefer to use the sea salt. So go and get yourself some nice sea salt, go and pick yourself some nice fresh greens. Now the ratios that I'm going to do today as well for ease, if you're going to be fermenting, I would go for ratios of 500 grams or kilos, and then you can work your salt ratio out. This is really, really important. When you gather your plant material and you get it back to your house, then you need to wash it. You need to wash it pretty fast. And to do that, you will need some spring water, or you need to pre-prepare some water. So you're probably going to get some tap water and you want to boil it, and then you want to cool it, and you want to leave it standing for 2 days for the chlorine to dissipate. Chlorine is a bacterial inhibitor. It doesn't matter whether it's good bacteria or bad bacteria. It works on the 2 and it prevents them. What we're trying to do with lacto-ferment is we're trying to increase and enhance the bacterial colonies which are naturally present inside the plant, the lactic acid bacteria, and we want to increase that, and we increase that through the fermentation process. You go using chlorinated water, you're going to inhibit that process. So it'll either slow your ferment down initially to start off with, or it may stop your ferment from actually starting, basically with a green, sloppy, stinky mess. So it's not what we want. It's a load of waste of your time and waste of the plant's energy and time as well. Cleanliness. I'm going to emphasise cleanliness in this process as well. It's really, really important that you adhere to your own physical hygiene, and any instruments and utensils that you're going to use, they need to be washed and sterilised. It's a really simple process. All your bowls, your kiln jars, then any other little jars that you're going to be using, and even your knives and your forks and your utensils you're going to use. Hot soapy water, give them a really good rinse with a fresh clean cloth. Make sure your sink initially is cleaned out as well. Then you want to rinse it off with hot water, and then set your oven on say 100 degrees, 120 degrees. Plonk it in your oven upside down, let the water drip off. Same with your kiln jars, take the rubber bung off, sit them onto your oven shelves, and basically give them 10 minutes inside there, yeah? Turn the oven off, just let things cool down, then go in, collect your items, and then you're ready and prepared. And again, with your own personal hygiene as well. You need to have clean hands, get dirt out of your nails where you possibly can. You don't want to cross-contaminate your ferment. Be wary of really highly perfumed soaps as well, and hand washes. You don't want to be getting a perfume fragrance from your hands into your plants, but all that will be obvious as to how that would happen. So, Blue Peter moment. If you've got your badges, you can watch this for free. If not, it's a £2 subscription fee. I'm only joking. So what I've got in here, or did have in here, the first video buggered up slightly. I swore and it didn't feel right, so we've used some of this already, but this is a kilo of Flowered Leek, or Allium paradoxum. This is growing around rivers, and even in more inland areas, but generally I find this around rivers. It's an invasive, in fact, I'm not going to tell you any more about this. If you go onto my Instagram or onto my Facebook page, Edible Leeds or Craig Worrell, you will find a short video that I did last week on Flowered Leek, some ID tips. So, Blue Pea moment, this has already been washed and cleaned in spring water, yeah? This is ready to rock and roll. I'm just going to show you the simple processes. So, first process, you've cleaned and you've washed everything, yeah? You want to, into a bowl, layer some of your green leaves, or your cabbages or your beetroots, and then nice pinch of salt. Put some salt on top. Grab some more green. Just space it out. Get yourself some little bit of salt. More salt. And this is a really fun bit, and kids love doing this as well, especially with purple things, with purple fingers. This is really important. Hands in and scrunch. Yeah, scrunch it and twist it. And what you're doing here is, you're breaking open the plant cells, which releases more of their natural stored liquids. You can probably see the liquids that's starting to just come out, nice green liquid, yeah, bit of Incredible Hulk blood. So by breaking the plant cells open, it releases liquid, and the addition of the salt helps that process through a process or reaction called osmosis. So salt draws moisture out of moist objects. Suppose at this time my camera lid will want to go moist. So it's a little running joke that we've got, moist. Some people hate that word. I'm going to stop now. We're putting people off. I'm like, oh, what cheeky, saying moist. So, and really quickly, I'm going to put in another handful, like so. Yeah. Now, to probably chat about ratios. I've chatted about ratios and the importance. So, I've got 1 kilo of Flowered Leek, Allium paradoxum, and then what I pre-weighed earlier was 20 grams of sea salt. That's a 2% ratio. If you were doing 100 grams, you'd use 2 grams of salt, but we're using a kilo, which is 10 times the amount, so 10 times the 2 gives you 20. The base ratio that I work from is a 2% salt ratio to the overall plant weight, but I will go up as high as 3. Generally, I keep it around about 2 to 2.5. The salt does inhibit the multiplication or the infection from bad bacteria. We've already got the good bacteria working in here, the lactic acid bacteria. Obviously, the ferment really needs to get a kickstart. It really needs to get going so that those bacterial colonies can multiply. It's really good fun, is this? If you're feeling a bit stressed at the moment, don't go out and buy one of them plastic gel stress balls. Get yourself into lacto-fermentation. It'll make you feel much better about the world. So yeah, you can see, look, it's just shrinking down, yeah, and breaking that plant material. So we've got some really lovely, look at that green juice, eh? Looks good for you already, doesn't it? So, by adding salt to green plant material like this and to cabbages, helps to kick off a process of fermentation. And what it does is it creates a perfect breeding ground for the accumulation and the build-up of lactic acid bacterial colonies, basically. Is it lactobacillus, something along those lines? And the health benefits of lacto-ferments, and same with kimchis. It's a very similar process, but using a slightly saltier brine as opposed to just adding salt to your plant material. is it will help to reinforce your gut flora. I don't have much of a belly, your gut flora. There is no me, it's we, yeah? Because over 2/3 of your body is made up of other living organisms. You're kind of like I suppose, like an ecosystem in your own right, really. If you look after your good bacterias inside you, they do help promote health. This is not a cure for COVID-19. None of the plants out there are necessarily a cure for COVID-19, so don't think you've got a quick fix by doing this. This is just about doing what we should naturally be doing, which is maintaining a healthy system to help fight off diseases and bacteria and viruses, and just maintain bodily health. So yeah, there we go. So, normally you'd use a fresh, clean kiln jar, but because, as I said earlier, my first video was buggering up, here's some ferment we started earlier, Blue Peter moment again. Now, before I pop that into there, I'm going to pimp this up. So, as lovely a ferment as this makes on its own, I'm going to dry my hands. As lovely as a ferment that this makes on its own, I like to add other things as well, just to embellish it, add other flavour profiles. Something that I'm really enjoying adding to my ferments at the moment is chipotle chili flakes. Absolutely love them. Careful because they can be quite hot. They add like just a really lovely, gentle heat, quite a powerful heat if you put a lot of them in. But it just gives a little back note of warmth. And then I've got another special ingredient of mine. So this is a seaweed called Porphyra umbilicalis. I've picked this up from a very, very clean, rocky shoreline up in the northeast. It's beautiful, beautiful seaweed. Japanese make sushi seaweed rolls for this. So it's basically it's a species of nori seaweed. This is Porphyra umbilicalis. You'll find this in the UK, and it's kind of in season at the moment. It's gonna fade off soon. It's a sort of a late winter, early spring seaweed variety. What I did with this particular seaweed when I brought it back from picking it a couple of months ago is I took it to my mate's smokehouse and we put it into the smokers that he's got, and we smoked it overnight, sort of 7 or 8 hours, over, I think it was beech and apple, this one was. So it's got a really lovely, do you want to smell? Good, isn't it? She smelled that before. So always gets a good reaction. And I'm going to chop some of this in. And again, this will just add more nutrients, add a little bit more bulk, a little bit more flavour, different texture. But again, it's adding that all-important flavour for me. Really lovely. This will turn the water slightly browner as well. Anyway, I'm going to finish the rest of it off later. So I've chopped this up into smaller pieces. We've do like a fast forward button. Now, imagine that you've done your entire kilo of plants and your entire 20 grams of salt, and you've added some chipotle chili flakes into there, and you've added some seaweeds maybe. If not, don't worry about it. You could add other herbs and spices in there if you want to do. You can cover this and leave it for an hour and let the salt work its magic by drawing out more of the liquid through the osmosis process. Or you can be like me, which I've been doing this a few years now, and actually I see no harm in doing this. Basically just stuff it into your kiln jar, innit? Just said in it, didn't I? in it. It's in it. It's in it. And it's really important, all your juices, yeah? That's the magic number in that one. In with that. You might also want to get a spatula and go around your bowl and just get everything out. Get all the little bits of plant material and get all that salty liquid into that. Now, imagining that this, just move that out of the way. Imagining that this is full to the brim. So if I just push my hands, you can see the liquid, yeah? So imagine that this jar is completely full. By the time you've done a kilo, I think these are 1.5 or 2, are they 1 litre? I can't remember if this is a litre kiln jar. It might be a litre kiln jar. A kilo fits beautifully into a litre kiln jar. So if you imagine that your plant material and liquid is up here, what you want is a clean, sterilised jam jar filled with water. You would place that into You push it down. What it does is it pushes your plant material below the salty brine, and it doesn't leave any of the plant material exposed to the air and potential bacteria above it. Okay, it's really important, especially if you're very new to this fermentation. And then you pop your lid over the top like that. You would then probably want to sit this in a bowl somewhere, because as it ferments in a warm room, the gases are released, and quite often your plant material starts to rise in the jar, which then forces a liquid out of the top. And you don't want liquid all over your lovely, I don't know, Chippendale furniture. If any of you are actually really, truly that rich that you've got Chippendale furniture, which got, what was this, 20 quid?
20
Collect.
quid, yeah.
20 quid, come and collect it. It's a bit shaky, but it does the trick. It does what it needs to do. Yeah. Where was I going with that one? And then I'm just going to come down. So imagining that's in there. You then want to place your jar and keep it in a warm room, basically. But a room maybe that you don't need in your bedroom, because it will smell. It will give off certain planty smells, so to speak, and some people don't necessarily like them. It's not overly pungent, but I'd keep it maybe in a kitchen or something and move it from room to room if you need to do. But certainly not in a room where you're going to be spending your leisure and pleasure time. I usually give about 10 to 14 days for a ferment, and your house is pretty warm, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just living in sort of cooler environments, as you well know. And taste it on a daily basis. You can just taste the liquid, have a little taste of it. You'll find that the flavour changes daily, and especially in the first week is going to be a really quite significant change. But I like quite a lengthy ferment online, so 10 days to 14 days is usually the minimum that I give them. Sometimes I'll give them longer. With cabbages and beetroots, I give them slightly less time. But again, a lot of this is about just tasting things and getting it to the palatable stage for you. When you're satisfied that your ferment has taken place and the flavour's really good, you take your jar out. Don't need that, you can wash it. Pop your lid on your kiln jar. Take your jar from your warm room and pop it in your fridge. Once it's in your fridge, it will slow the ferment down, but it will keep the ferment going as well. This is a live bacterial product. All these Yakults in plastic tubs, yeah, you do not need to buy things like Yakult. There are plenty wild plants out there that you can make as probiotics, prebiotics even. And there's a really, really wonderful book out there. It's quite a heady one, but again, it'll work well in tandem with other books. And it's the Fermentation Bible. It's by a guy called Sandor Katz, or Sandor Elix Katz. And it's called The Art of Fermentation. Invest in it. It will go through just about every fermentation process possible from all around the world. It's rich in detail. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. So get that on your shelf. And then there are other smaller fermentation edition books. But also a lot of the foragers from the Association of Foragers, if you look on their websites, you will find other hints and tips on making lacto-ferments. I don't have anything on my own particular website, but I will do soon, because I know I've got a video. So I'm Craig, Edible Leads and the 4 Wild Seasons. I think that's pretty much it, dude. I don't think I need to mention anything else. I think that's it, really. Cheers for watching. If there's any questions that you want to ask me, maybe something that I've forgotten, I don't know, there's usually a lot of information, feel free to get in touch on the comment section, and I'll try and answer your questions. But honestly, this process, it is so simple. It really is. It's easier than riding a bike. You've just seen me go through it. Plant material, yeah, salt, that's it. Maybe some spare spring water if you need to top it up if you don't have enough. That is it. They're the 2 key ingredients. Kiln jar should cost you, got TK Maxx, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 quid for decent sized kiln jars. Get them cheaper in other shops as well. Sea salt doesn't cost you a lot. You don't need a huge amount of it. So yeah, it's a pretty basic one. And again, it just reinforce your gut biome. And you know, your gut biome is kind of like one of your first lines of defence against things such as common colds and maybe other bacteria, other viruses and other bacteria. And there's also really strong research and papers exploring the link between a healthy gut bacteria and positive and healthy mental health. I think we all sometimes feel a bit down, or we feel the pressures of the world on us. You know, foods can actually help us with that. You know, I'm not saying they're a total cure, but they can help in those processes. Yeah, health is really important, especially at this time. There's a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress and a lot of worry out there with people. So take your mind off things. Go out for a forage, pick some lovely wild greens, save yourself some cash. Everybody's got salt in their house. If not, you can go to the shops, pick up some sea salt, and you can busy your mind doing something else while doing something productive with your time. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, and catch you later.